So let's get into the season. Again, in my opinion, season four of Game of Thrones is one of the better seasons because this is like there's so much that happens. And let's start off with the biggest surprise. I remember the first time I watched this. The biggest surprise of one of the biggest surprises, I should say, of the season, and that's Joffrey's death. Right, another wedding, another death, which is hilarious. But I guess I'll start off with what was y'all's thoughts? Like Brandon seeing for the first time. What was y'all's thoughts when y'all saw Joffrey keel over and die?
Finally.
Thank God. It's about time. I've never wanted somebody to die in my life, but I wanted him to die. Oh my gosh. I was like, it's about time. And the way they set that up, like he was just at his worst almost.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like the way he was treating my boy Tyrion, man, I was like, yo, you really, really, you really going ham right now and being like the worst brat ever. And so I was glad they killed his
Oh,
Eman?
oh yeah, it was satisfying. Like B White. I mean, I feel bad for wanting somebody to die, but man, that was satisfying to watch. Um, but
Yeah,
I,
I think.
I
Sorry, go
just,
ahead.
but going forward, I just didn't understand Cersei's reaction because it was like Tyrion was just as confused as everybody, but she turned, she was like, it was him. It was just like, I don't know. Watching it the second time, I was like, that doesn't make sense because he's just as confused as everybody else. How is he to blame for it?
Well, so Cersei would have blamed him for anything. Like
Uh,
that's just Cersei's character for herself. She just wants him to feel because he shipped off her daughter to Dorne. What Tommen? I don't know what happened. He married. Oh, she's getting married to somebody. Anyways, so Cersei just has an out for him, anyways. But he does look like the way they set the shot up. He does look guilty because he's the one that touched the cup, right? Like that's the biggest like conversation is like who killed Joffrey because the grandma claimed that she did it. She was like, "I will never let you get hurt, Sansa." But then we see Littlefinger claim that he did it, right? So it's like who actually killed Joffrey?
Yeah, but I
Yeah,
feel
I was
like
wondering about that.
Tyrion, like, Joffrey made him be the cupbearer. So, like, it's not like he was like, oh, King, let me give you your cup for you. Like, he was making him do that. So,
Yeah.
that's also a logic piece they missed out on when they're like, oh, Tyrion did it.
And that cut went, to some table, not
Mm.
seen by us. I'm sorry if my mic got hit, but not seen by us, but to the world in the story. I'm sure other people saw it, but still somebody could have slipped something in there. Now who? I don't know. But I was wondering that. I had to go back and watch, and I was like, okay, start putting it together. Like, who actually killed him? Like, I don't know if this has anything to do with his death, but I noticed this when I was rewatching that episode today. And maybe I was tripping, but when he smashed the pie and the doves flew out, and then some doves were dead, right? Did y'all see like I think when they was giving him his plate, it looked like a dove head fell off and it was on the plate. Am I tripping? Maybe I saw something that didn't happen.
I didn't watch
Not.
that.
Yeah, I didn't watch that deep
I
either. So.
remember.
I mean, but the reason I say that because they like the camera shot was like right on this part where the dove head fell out. They were showing the dead birds in there. So I'm like, what is that about? But maybe it's nothing. Who knows who
Yeah.
killed him? I think it seems like Littlefinger and the grandmama are in cahoots. Because Littlefinger is like, they're people, my friends, would love to see the Lannisters fall, yada yada yada. And
Yep.
then we see grandmama talking about, she wouldn't let old girl marry
That
Godfrey or
monster.
stay married.
Yeah. That
Yeah, so
monster.
I'm like, oh, okay. They in cahoots. That's my thought. That's my theory. I'm excited to find out exactly who did it. We
No,
know
that
it wasn't
makes
my boy Tyrion.
yeah, that makes sense. Or was it Tyrion? You don't know.
No, it wasn't Tyrion. It wasn't Tyrion, man. He innocent.
Yeah, Tyrion. Yeah, he got set up. That was crazy. But like to your point here, you're talking about like they don't, the evidence doesn't make sense. They didn't give a damn about the evidence back in the
I
day.
know.
Whoever got accused for whatever. Like good luck. Like you had no proof. Like if somebody yelled something, like it's like you. There's no trial. They say it's a trial, but it's kangaroo court. You have no luck
Mhm.
with that. But like you were saying, like everybody says, to me, Joffrey's death has to be the number one most satisfying death in TV history. Literally, there's never been a character I've ever watched where I wanted them to die, and when they did, I was just like, "Thank God!" Like he is
Yeah,
finally done. Like that's it. That's the
yeah.
only thought I had watching Joffrey's death. The first time, the second time, I was like, I already knew what was happening, but I was like, the first time watching, I was like, bro, get this monster out of here, right? So Joffrey's death for me was literally the number one most satisfying death I've ever seen in TV history, personally.
Yeah,
I would agree.
oh, go ahead, B White.
No, I was just saying I agree. I was so as a person who this was my first time watching the series. I was elated when he died. I might have stopped and cheered. I don't know. I was so happy. I was so happy.